like, I remember Ned called me and said, so, what do you do? And I told him the story. We grow grapes organically and we don't do much. And he was like, so you're a natural winemaker? I was like, I don't know what natural winemaking is, but sounds cool.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Wine People. Today's episode finds me in the deep south in Rosa Glen in Western Australia, Margaret River, where I see Iwo from Si Vintners, where we struggle to work out how to use an air conditioner and also battle hay fever and weevils in the vineyard. We don't have a sponsor for this show, but being November, the team at Blind Corner is involved in Movember, which is a charity fundraising for prostate cancer research. The team here all are sporting pretty dirty moustaches at the moment. So if you'd like to donate or help out, I've got a shortcut which is mo, that's mo, .realwinepeople.com. I hope you enjoy this episode with Iwo.
3.9.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. This is weird.
Yeah.
I might only do one ear.
Yeah, do it. You'll get used to it. I mean, if it's too loud, I can turn it down, but we've got to do the levels. So just get yourself in your position and then move the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to move it up to your mouth, which is that thing that you put beer into.
Okay.
Got it?
I need to leave room for the beers, though.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Finally, mate.
Yeah, I know. So first things, happy birthday for yesterday.
Cheers, mate.
You're looking younger.
I feel younger, yeah.
Yeah, 40 years old.
4-0.
So I thought the best way to do it would be just take us through year by year, like what happened
From birth?
From birth, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yep, that's a good thing to do.
7th of November, 1979.
Really?
Communist Poland.
Yeah, that's good. No, I want to hear all about that. Well, just to let people know, I'm at Si Vintners in Rosa Glen, Margaret River with Iwo. I can never say your last name. You might want to.
Jakimo Magic. That's what my son Johnny has decided to change it to.
That's fair enough. Jakimo Magic. Yeah. Si Vintners stands for Sarah and Iwo, and I've tried quite hard to get Sarah to come down.
She almost agreed.
Really?
Almost, but maybe we can do a different one with her.
Yeah, I think so.
There'll be less swearing involved.
Swearing's good. I get to tick the little explicit symbol when I upload them, so we're fine. All right, so Poland, mate, that's where you were born. When did you get to Australia?
We moved to Australia in 87. So my parents were political refugees.
Right.
We escaped communist Poland and came to Australia.
Land in Perth? Or?
Yeah, we actually we ran away from Poland and lived in Austria for a year.
Right.
So I actually did year one in Austria. And and then because my dad's a geologist, so back in the 80s, that was a sought after profession here. So
still is, I think.
Australia allowed us in.
Yeah, nice.
They didn't know what they were in for.
So Austria, because you didn't speak any English before you got here.
No, not a word.
And what did you speak in Austria?
German.
So you knew German, or is it similar to Polish?
I spoke German, grade 1 style. Like I learnt it when I got to Austria.
Yeah.
So I did year 1. I was in all the German as a second language classes.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, I can't remember much of it.
Yep.
And I don't remember how to speak German because
right.
I don't actually remember not speaking English.
Oh, okay.
Like I feel like I arrived in Australia and I was freaking out going to school.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I don't know. Yeah, it just
happened.
Appeared, yeah.
Just English magically appeared. Yeah. So year 2, you started school in Perth.
Yep.
And then high school in Perth as well?
High school in Perth.
And did you go to uni after high school? Or?
I went straight to uni after high school.
Really?
Yeah.
In where?
Curtin Uni in Perth.
Right.
The new course had just come out, viticulture and enology.
So how did you know that you wanted to get in a vineyard straight out of high school?
I didn't.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to live in Margaret River.
Right.
And in the specs for the university, it said you have to do work experience in places like Margaret River.
That's awesome.
So I said, I don't know what viticulture is, but that sounds really
But I like culture.
good. Yeah. So I signed up, and the rest is history. Now I don't know how to do anything but.
Yeah. So were you coming down when you were in high school?
Yeah, like we were surfing and stuff.
Yeah.
Coming down on the weekends, and it was always like a dream to live down here for surfing, really.
Yeah.
Not for anything.
And then, so how long was the course? 3 years? 4 years?
I took me a good 10. I did a year, because I was so young.
Yeah.
And I did a year not knowing, I didn't know whether, I thought Fruity Alexia was a great variety.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know if Chardonnay was a red or a white. It was so it was a bit of jumping in the deep end.
Yeah.
And then I did my first year, and then we decided with some of the lecturers that it was a good idea that I go and get some experience.
Cool.
So then I did a bit of work.
And you moved down here?
Here, and I actually ended up travelling. I did my first vintage over in Red Hill Estate in Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. Where is that, Yarra?
Mornington.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So that was in 2000.
Right. Red Hill.
Pretty much since then, I've done 2 vintages a year.
Yeah.
Till now.
Have you added them up yet?
Must be 40-ish.
Yeah. Oh, mate, there's one a year. Let's go through each of them. Yeah.
I've caught up. Actually, no, this year, this 2019 is the first time since 2000 that I haven't done 2 in 1 year.
Yeah, because you were sick.
Yeah.
Too much jiu-jitsu.
Too much jiu-jitsu.
So because now you travel to, well, I guess Sarah did it this year, but you have 3 vineyards in Catalayud, is that it?
Well, we have a total of 5 hectares.
Yep.
But it's not like in Australia, they're all spread out. So it's 5 hectares, but there's 7 separate sites.
Oh, really?
So they're all some might be a half an hour drive to the other, but they're all scattered through the mountains. So it's not, it's not like, oh, here's a fence, here's a vineyard.
Yeah.
You're just kind of driving along through the mountains and go, oh, wow, there's a little cool looking half a hectare of Grenache.
And that's like yours?
Yeah. Well, us and our partners,
Yep.
Rory and Rinny McGoldrick.
Oh, cool.
We bought, so it all started because Sarah and I worked in Spain.
Yep.
For a big winemaking operation.
And that's where you met?
No, we met at uni. We studied at uni together.
Yeah, okay.
We weren't together when we first met. We were just mates.
Sure. Yeah, great.
Sarah conned me into it much later.
Oh, really? She's not here to refute anything. This is a clever move.
Yeah, she should have been here.
So you, just to keep the timeline going, so you were at uni there for a year, did vintage at Red Hill so a year after starting uni?
Yeah,
and then
2 years after.
2 years after?
Okay.
And where from there?
And then I came back, did another year of uni.
Yep.
Then I worked around Margaret River a bit.
Cool.
Between vineyards and wineries.
Yep.
I was, obviously doing the vintages. I did South Africa.
Really?
Did where else? Spain, obviously. I've done, like 15 vintages in Spain or something.
Jesus.
Switzerland. I worked in Switzerland.
Where in Switzerland?
And a little bit in Italy.
Right.
Switzerland in Ticino, which is the Italian part.
Yeah, nice.
So then the work I did in Italy, the guy I worked for in Switzerland was actually a consultant in Tuscany.
Right.
So, we'd go down every second week or whatever and do some stuff.
Yeah, cool.
That was good fun.
And then what year did you get this place?
We bought Halcyon Vineyard in 2010.
Yeah, okay.
So we'd had enough of Spain.
Yeah.
And then we started looking around, found this place. We actually found this place in 2008, but the price was ludicrous.
Yeah, okay.
And we were so disappointed that we couldn't get it. And we tried everything.
Right.
And then, a couple of years later, we ran into the owners and they'd dropped the price to within reach. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So how many years were you in Spain?
Well, from 2005 until present day. Well, but we worked for the company we worked for them for 8 years.
Right.
So we did 8 vintages for them. And then when we bought this place, we'd given up on Spain, but then our friends Rory and Rinny, who'd visited us during the time we were in Spain, and we had a great time.
And where are they from?
Rory's an old school mate of mine.
Right, cool.
Yeah, so and we thought it was a great idea, a great investment, because the land was cheap. Buy a couple of hectares. It'll give us an excuse to go every year.
Yeah.
We'll make a bit of money.
Living the dream, mate.
Yeah, it's kind of an expensive hobby at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's great. It's like...
But some of the vineyards, you got 150.
Yeah, the oldest vineyard we have is over 120 years old. We're not, we're not sure exactly of the planting date, because there's none of the paper. They didn't have papers when everything was planted, so all the paperwork sort of came about in the 60s. But it was planted much earlier.
Wow.
We actually own one of the oldest. It's only half a hectare. It's one of the oldest plantings in the whole region.
Yep.
So we're pretty lucky to get it. It's only half a hectare. Some years we make 1 barrel out of it. This year we unfortunately got hailed a week before harvest, and it just totally destroyed just that one block. Yeah,
right.
So it's disappointing. But
and where do you make it there?
We've got our own little winery. We hired it's essentially a shed in the industrial area.
Right.
So it's tiny. It's like 4 times the size of this room we're sitting in right now.
Yeah, right. Which is what was that? 3 by 4.5 or something?
Yeah, something like that. So it's split into 2. One side's sort of the barrel hall.
Yeah.
We've got total of 10 barrels, mate.
That's cool.
And then we've actually kitted out half the winery in an old antique store. We got like a 200-year-old press and a whole bunch of amphora.
Great.
And obviously a bit of stainless.
Yeah. And so you fly across, make it.
Yeah, so Robert and Fernando, which are 2 brothers, there's Fernando watching over us there. They run the whole operation for the year, and we do all the winemaking calls and come over for harvest.
Nice.
Pick some grapes.
So when you go there for harvest, is that when you bottle or?
Yeah, we usually
Fernando?
get the bottling ready.
Yeah.
So Sarah's just done some blends and stuff, and then now the boys are bottling, because it's a very slow process. We don't have very fancy machinery, so it's
and then you bring it back here.
We're about to. We were selling a lot of it in the UK,
sure,
and a little bit in Japan, but now we're just like we want it here.
Yeah.
So we don't a couple of years ago we got a really bad frost, so we made no wine at all.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then it's taken the vines a little bit to get back. So this vintage from 5 hectares we did 8 tons.
Jesus.
And they're 100-year-old vines, so you're not expecting too much more. A good vintage would be 15 ton maybe,
right?
But 10 would have been nice. But
8,
good.
8'll do.
8'll do. Lucky number.
So when you got this place, 2010, it was all conventionally farmed.
It was, but it was quite. Graham, who'd owned it, was looking at retirement for a couple of years, so he was he wasn't. He was using some herbicides and stuff. But, it was hands off. So to speak.
Sure.
It was minimal,
organic by default.
But the minute we walked through, one of the first things I did was just any chemicals that were on the farm, I took them to the tip.
Yep.
Got rid of all the old drums and
great.
Cleaned out. Spent a couple of days scraping out the old sprayer and stuff, and we've been literally we were organic for the first sort of 6 months, and then biodynamics took my interest, and we've been mucking around with that ever since.
So how did you get into BD, biodynamics?
Well, we were just super interested in organics.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're researching, because we jumped in the deep end here, we went from being, sort of corporate winemakers to owning our own vineyard.
Yeah.
And even though I'd worked in plenty of vineyards before, I'd never actually run one from start to finish for a full 12 months. and as you know yourself, it's quite a learning curve.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And then so, I had every single freaking book under the sun about organics and stuff. And then, biodynamics kept popping up, and I kept reading it going, oh God, this is not making sense.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it?
But I did, we did try, we started trialling it, and then our good friend Mike Sleegers, who's, the guru of biodynamics in Western Australia.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to have him giving us so much advice. So
that's great, because he just works around the corner.
He works at McHenry Honan, just down the road, which, and to be honest, without Mike, we wouldn't have got so far into it, because he was the one that pushed us and showed us how easy it actually is.
Yeah, okay.
And, and like it didn't take long to see the results.
Sure.
So,
and with the results, are you putting on 500, 501?
Yeah, we do 500, 501 compost. So we make our own 500 and 501.
Yeah.
And then we buy compost preps from
Beauty Australia.
Yeah, it just gets a bit too gnarly to make all the...
Yeah, for sure.
But it seems to be... Like we do as many as we can in a growing season, 500 and followed up with 501.
Yeah, cool.
We've done 2 already this the big stirring we did together.
Yeah, lost my pants. What's... So does Mike comes across and you do it together here?
The making of the 500. Yeah, we do. It's actually Mike organised it all, and we did it a couple of years at McHenry Honan, and the last 2 years we've done it on our property here.
Oh, great! And he takes some back.
Yeah. So we just share it.
Yeah, cool.
For what we need. And
nice.
It's good.
Oh, I'll join you next year.
Definitely. Well, we'll have to,
because we're buying our 500, 501 in and compost preps as well.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing, apart from the manhandling a bunch of poo.
Yeah.
but
the barbecue afterwards, great.
Your hands stink for a few days.
You wear gloves when you drink your beer.
I've started, putting the double rubber glove on now.
Nice.
But the first time we ever did it, I was like, I'm hardcore. I won't use gloves. And then, it's just, you stink for a long time.
Have you... Oh, yeah, right. So have you've noticed a big difference?
Huge, yeah. The soil life, it changes like... You don't notice it instantly, but after a year or two, you start going, well, because we started doing it on a couple of blocks.
Sure.
And then, like I said, Mike then was like, well, just do it everywhere.
Yeah, nice.
so we started with our Cabernet block that you can see out the window here.
Yep.
And we were like, why the hell is this fruit so much better every year than the other block?
Yeah.
And then that's it.
It is looking healthy this year.
Yeah, let's touch wood. It's still early.
So biggest challenges, I guess, you have is the same as we do. It's just the grass, undervine grasses and weevils.
Weevils is definitely our worst.
What's your plan this year? Have you got the magic bullet yet?
I've been crossing my fingers.
Yeah,
heaps.
cool. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of that.
We used a bit of the Buff's
softer and matrix
combo, which we usually do the night spray, but this year we've tried the butt drenching and stuff.
Sure.
So we haven't got too. There's the front row, which is always the worst damage. It's got there's probably 4 or 5 vines which have got defoliated.
Yeah.
But other than that, there hasn't, again, touch wood, it hasn't been.
I think they're emerging later this year. I think that cool start, but I don't know. As you know, we talk all the time, but we tried so many different things, and somehow one of them or a combination or something worked a few years ago. We didn't wipe them all out, but we got, from what I could tell, rid of 80, 90%.
Well, we did that same thing last year. We had absolutely zero damage last year. Yeah. And the year prior to that, we lost huge, like probably 20% of this block was annihilated by weevils.
Right.
To the point that last year we didn't have proper canes to wrap and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But so we threw everything at it last year, so I'm not sure which was the magic bullet.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of ploughing, which is something we haven't done in the past, but I think it's, the guys live in the ground, so we have to mess up their little ecosystem somehow.
Well, see, we notice now when they're coming back in, they're coming in from the edges, like you say. You got the outside, they're coming in from somewhere else back in to eat.
Well, which is where it wasn't cultivated,
as
probably.
Well, right. So, and we have them eating weeds this year they haven't eaten before. Really? I think because we reseeded the entire property with things they don't like eating. They're known to not like clover and a few others, and they've been getting into this, I don't know the name of the weed, but it's like this succulent, stripy, almost looks like dock.
Right.
But anyway, so they come in from the edges and they hit some of the outside.
Oh, plantain.
Is that what it is?
And does it grow? And is it like a little seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plantain.
Have you had weevils eat that at yours? Yeah.
They like it, yeah.
Well, they've never eaten it at ours.
If you rip it out, they'll live underneath it.
Right. Okay.
But they don't actually eat the leaves of it, but they hang out there.
No, they've been nailing it.
Oh, they have been?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it before. And I think it's because we got rid of whatever they liked eating by overseeding.
Right.
But now we've been having to attack... I think you know this. We bought 2 Dyson handheld vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, that was a good story.
But we still do it, like in the hot spots, because they're coming in from the outside. We just, like during the day, peel back the bark
and suck them all up.
Suck them all up.
Yeah, well, you got to do something. One big thing that we had is guinea fowl.
Yep.
They do a great job.
If they hang around.
But we've got a good little team. We had up to about 40 at one stage now, and then we had a clever fox move in and lost about 20.
Right.
But there's sort of, unfortunately, they're not very good at breeding guinea fowl, though.
Right.
They'll sit on their eggs, and then as soon as the young hatch, they run away.
And something needs some.
And you never know where they lay their eggs, so that's the problem. So if we ever, like last year, we had some eggs, we put them under a chook. And,
Sure.
But
and they hatched?
Yeah, and I haven't found any eggs this year.
Right.
So
I think you found the eggs and we had an omelette.
There's definitely eggs around because the crows have found them. I see the shells. You know, they've got the distinct shaped egg.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do, and that's the thing in comparison to chooks. Chooks will just hang around the pen.
Yeah.
Whereas guinea fowl will just grid the whole property.
Sure.
So they'll go into the hot spot. You know, you'll see them up the end there. You know, and they really like weevils.
Because they're tasty and protein.
Yeah.
Geese, the same. Just geese are assholes.
Geese just look good. They don't eat weevils. They're actually, they don't eat, well, as far as I know, they only chew the grass.
Right.
They're vegetarians.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went to...
they're good guard dogs.
To keep the foxes away from...
The fox won't get the grown-up geese.
Right.
But it'll get the goslings.
Yeah.
And also when the mother's sitting on the eggs, like because the mum won't move for anything, so the fox will get them then. But our population of geese hasn't really changed for years.
Okay.
Like they came with the property.
Yeah.
And they are pretty. My wife loves them. They make a lot of noise.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like me.
They look scary. Yeah. They're actually pretty harmless.
Yeah. Well, they can stay over there. That's fine. Did you end up trying that Mycoforce stuff that we...
I did, but I tried it in a new planting that was not successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't stop them at all.
Well, but last year I tried it last year when we had no weevils.
Yeah, okay.
So it potentially worked, but
yeah,
I couldn't tell you because we tried the Mycoforce. We had Matrix and Softer.
Yeah. And
a whole shitload of ploughing.
Yeah.
So...
and then the tornado this year, you reckon?
Tornado's great. I think that's, we've gone halves in it. I think that's the greatest piece of equipment we've bought so far.
Mate, yeah, I think so too.
It's doing the job.
So this is so it's made by a company called Fisher, which we bought a finger weeder from. It fits to the front of the tractor. The finger weeder was used originally in strawberry fields to...
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the other companies are using them in Europe, in vineyards.
Right.
It's quite common, but...
And then we've bolted on this new bit of kit called the Tornado, which is like a horizontal whippersnipper. So instead of like your normal whippersnipper, I don't know how to explain this. You sort of flip it on its side and stretch it into a tube. Yeah,
like a big drum with
whippersnipper cord on it.
A lot of whippersnipper cord hanging out. It looks like it would do some damage.
Yeah.
But it's the greatest thing because it leaves the vineyard under vine looking as if it's... being whippersnipped by hand.
Yeah, exactly.
If not even better, because it gets all right down to the base of the trunks and without damaging them.
Yeah, we went halves and...
I'll get another beer.
Oh yeah, do it, mate.
You tell them about it.
All right. I'll just have a sip of mine. You can hear all the bottling happening in the background too.
Do you need one?
No, I'm good.
What's happening in the background?
You can hear the...
Okay.
Oh, it's good. Action stations at the winery. So we bought that Caffini Aqua Knife, which is like uses cold water. Thanks, mate. Cold water under vine to, jets down, high pressure, 1,000 psi. 1,000 psi water that spins and goes under vine, mounts to the front of the tractor as well. And if we go through with a tornado or whippersnip and then go through with that, it's just magic. And we were hoping that it was going to go down and disturb, the weevil larvae or the eggs, etc. But we just break it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just...
So it works well, but you spend more time fixing it.
It's broken again right now. And then, of course, our tractor's broken as well, so...
I saw your tractor today at the shop. I was in
Nice. Is it ready?
I don't know. The things were pointing downwards, so I don't...
Right. Okay, well, I'll ask Monday. So the tornado, and it's great. Well, I guess, between us, those two machines are the first ones in Australia.
Yeah.
Because of the boom of organic viticulture, there's a few other wineries. I think, what are we starting, a contracting company or something?
Yeah, for sure. Jeez. We don't spend enough time on tractors.
No. We'll get out there and do other people's vineyards, which is good because there's such a boom of organic viticulture
Well,
happening.
and the interest, in Margaret River, I can speak for Margaret River because that's where we live.
Yep.
Even all the big boys are starting to get excited about it, which is, it's amazing. I think.
And the knowledge base isn't huge, for, I guess, organic viticulture. It's growing all the time.
Yeah,
but there's not many people that have done it for any period of time.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good, mate. Good.
Exciting stuff.
So, vineyard, weevils, grasses, got that sorted. I think I can see is that a goose there? Or?
Oh, probably. Yeah, that's the geese.
Yeah.
Chewing some little weeds for us.
You're bottling some Chardonnay today in the...
We're bottling Chardonnay,
Yeah. Cool.
We tend to... Chardonnay is the majority of what we do these days.
Yep.
We're always bottling Chardonnay.
Nice. Yeah, and so you run this vineyard, and is it one or two others?
Two others. So this is originally, when we first took this over, there was 8 hectares of vineyard here, and we've ripped out close to 2.
Right.
Just stuff that wasn't quite in the right spots, like some really heavy clays that were just getting really wet in winter and the vines weren't performing. And we're now... Well, this year we've actually just done our first... I'll show you afterwards.
Yeah, so you've planted more?
We've planted a little... Oh, no, I showed it to you the other day, didn't I? Yeah. Well, it's like 1/4 of a hectare. But
cool.
we're anything we're replanting, we're doing it close plants. So,
cool.
Not quite like Burgundy, but 1.6 metres between rows and 800 between vines.
Wow.
So pretty tight. So, we just put in 1,000 vines and whatever... Well, it's not even 1/4 of it. It's tiny. It's a tiny little area. But it's just our trial to make sure I want to run that for a year just to get my head around it and know that I can do it.
And then just keep planting out like that?
I think so. So eventually we'll do this block that you can see, which is our old vines. We'll probably plant vines down the middle.
Sure.
They're about 3.6 roughly. I think the people in the 70s were a bit drunk when they planted because some are 3.6 and some are 3.8.
How old is... So how old's the vineyard?
It was planted in 78.
Yeah, right. That's pretty old for most.
Yeah, well, it's for down this neck of the woods, it's one of the oldest ones.
Yeah, cool. So plant down the middle there. So what would be I know you're increasing the vine density, but what would be the total hectares under...
Well, so the final goal, which is like a 10-year plan, I guess.
Yeah, let's not rush it.
Yeah, let's not rush it. I've learnt not to rush things in this game. So it'll, eventually we'll probably have like 3 to 4 hectares of close planted stuff on this property.
Yep.
And then, the other 2 places are another 10 hectares, but they're not going to be densely planted there.
Sure. That's pretty cool. And then make it all here, sell it around the world.
Well, yeah.
Maybe so you're doing all the sales yourself in Perth?
Yeah, as of about a year or so ago.
Yeah, loving it?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice to talk to everyone and, meet all the crew. And Perth's such a buzzing little market at the moment. Yeah. When we first started trying to sell wine, when we first met.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't sell a bottle in Perth. It was people were going, oh, this is cloudy. And what, low sulphurs?
Yeah, it was really hard.
It was hard. But, and now it's the opposite. It's actually become our biggest market in Australia, which is great, the local market.
Yeah, same with us. Yeah, I think I've said before when I started, I'd go to Perth for 2 weeks and come back, had not sold a bottle. Yeah. I think when I first met you, it was Joe Perry. Yeah. Who was a mutual friend, and then it's called the River now, but the old a pub in Margaret River. Oh, this is a friend of mine, we sort of said hello, and I remember we were both very cagey. I think because what we were doing separately wasn't really being accepted within the industry. It's like, what do you do? Oh, just vineyards and stuff, mate. Yeah, make some wine. Oh, yeah.
Didn't really want to say that we were organic. You bloody hippies.
I don't really do much in the vineyard. Oh, right, yeah, cool. Yes,
me too.
Yeah. What about the wine? Just really normal stuff, mate. But we just don't add anything. Really?
I do remember.
You want another beer? Yeah, I'll have another beer. Yeah.
I haven't sold a single bottle for 2 months.
Yeah. Hey, can you be my best friend?
Well, and then you hooked us up with Ned and Joel over in Sydney, and that's where it all began, really.
Yeah, true. I didn't think of that.
Because, we were like, I remember Ned called me and said, so, what do you do? And I told him the story. We grow grapes organically and we don't do much. And he was like, so you're a natural winemaker? I was like, I don't know what natural winemaking is, but sounds cool.
If it means you're going to buy my wine. Yeah.
And then I was like, these wines are, like we do. Have you ever heard of skin contact in white wine? And he was like, yeah, so you do. And then he was like, they flew over and tasted some wines, met us. And then I remember they were like, so, how much of this have you got? And, I sort of went, well, this much, but you can have half. And then after the meeting, I was like, oh my God, they took it. Like, should have just told them they can have it all.
Could have taken the rest of the year off. Oh, that's great. And now you sell your wines all around the world.
Yeah, less now because we sort of changed our tune a bit. We were making more, like we were actually still buying grapes until 2 years ago, and now we only make wine from stuff that we farm ourselves.
Cool.
So we're making a lot less. So hence there's less export. But yeah, we sell to Japan, which is a pretty big market. UK,
right? So Le Cave in the UK,
Le Cave
wine
in the UK,
diamonds,
wine diamonds.
Yeah. In Singapore too.
Singapore, artisan cellars.
Yep.
And where else? We did a little bit in Hong Kong.
Yeah, cool.
That's more. Same story as you for America. We were.
Yeah, it was going real well there.
It was going real well, and then it just
went real not well. But we did cryotherapy in New York, and
Well, it was good. It was a good trip.
Yeah, that's it.
You taught me about keto.
Yeah, you're still keto now. Even these
these beers aren't exactly keto.
Oh, so funny. I remember talking on the phone. How's the keto going? Yeah, mate, I'm deep in keto, and then all I could hear was. Was that a beer? Yeah, not keto now.
Yeah, keto in the morning.
Keto in the morning.
Yeah.
So rewinding a bit. So obviously you see Sarah and Iwo, and then a play on the Spanish word for yes. Is that or was just no?
We actually initially did not know how to do what to call the place.
Yeah,
and we just registered S&I Wine Company as our thing. Got the ABN and whatever. And then everyone just started calling it Si.
Right.
So it wasn't. I guess it was because we were working in Spain, but it was more for Sarah and Ivo's wine company.
Yeah, okay.
We're so good at coming up with names.
Nice. Oh, your names are great on all your wines.
Yeah, well, they've come good. A few of them we weren't sure, and then
because I've always thought it was just C for Sarah and Ivo, but the S is the capital.
That was the graphic designer.
Oh, right.
He made it look good. Peter Rowan, who's Fuse Box Design.
Yep.
So he's a very clever guy.
Yeah.
I say it stands for Sir Evo.
Right, okay. Yeah,
or
sure.
Super Evo.
Or Sarah Incorporated.
She'll like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys met at uni and then you went your separate ways and...
Went our separate ways. Sarah's, done... She's done vintages all over the world, but in different places.
Sure.
She did a big stint in South Australia working.
Oh, of course. We were at Torbreck for a while.
Yeah, she was at Torbreck for... I never remember how many years, but a fair few.
Yeah.
And then she did vintages overseas, and she did Portugal and France.
Great.
And then we sort of we'd been in touch, and then Sarah got this job opportunity in Spain, and I'd been to Spain partying and surfing.
Yeah, right, nice.
And the last time I saw her, I said, "Oh, geez, I really want to go live in Spain. It's great." And then this job came up, and she said, "Hey, Ivo, this is weird, but this guy just rang me and there's a job working, super old vines, starting a new project. We're going to do 100 tons and we can basically do whatever you want. Do you want to do this job?" And I was like, shit, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That sounds epic, So we went to Spain and
So Sarah was your boss in Spain?
Yeah, well, we kind of worked
together.
Hand,
And was it 100 tons the first year? And
first year was 120 tons, and then the last job I ever did for them was a 1 million litre blend of one wine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and that was within 8 years.
Wow. And that's the growth that you're expecting.
It was just massive,
here today.
So
hey,
it was,
hey, mate.
Jostity.
Good, and you?
Yeah, good.
What's going on here then?
Just doing
a podcast, mate. This is like the sound studio.
Oh, man. Are you guys broadcasting to the world right now?
Yeah, you're live right now.
Yeah, you're live.
40 million people.
Yes. Cool.
What's going on?
Won't interrupt you then. Just came to say hello.
Are you hanging around? Or?
Yeah, I might hang around for a minute. I might go home for lunch if you're going to be here for a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we just started, so
it'll be another
an hour or so.
Something like that. Depends if we run out of words.
Okay.
Well,
how many words you got left?
Oh, I don't have that many.
Yeah, right. I'll maybe come back for 10 later.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
See you, Justin. Is that air conditioner working?
I was just...
Fuck, man, it's hot in here. What is it, a sauna? Is this part of your opposite cryotherapy thing?
I'm not very good at technology, in case you didn't notice, but... I'm starting to sweat.
I'm sweating badly. I think
the
it's
beers are going down fast. This is my facade to get you super drunk.
Let's get the fan up high.
Is there like a cold and hot button?
No, there's not. But it looks like it's got a sun there, which makes me think like
That's hot.
it's heating it.
Damn, no.
Your face is pretty red.
I'm dirty. Here we go.
Oh, that's better. I can feel it already.
Oh, I can hear it.
My pits are sweating.
Yeah, I thought I was, these 1.5 beers just evaporated.
Oh, yeah. How's your hay fever been this year?
It's been the worst hay fever season I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, me too. Dying. Yeah.
Oh, and like I've tried taking all the little tablets and stuff, nothing works.
Have you got any marrow flowering yet?
It's a weird flowering. There's been like mainly the peppies,
Yep.
and there's been like the odd marry, just like one out of the blue will flower.
Or flower. Yeah, we've got the same at home. Oh, that's nice and cool now. I'm sweating pretty hard in here.
Just
let's go to Evo.
Podcasting from a sauna.
Yeah, okay. So where were we? So Sarah, you're making 1 million litres of wine.
1 million litres, yeah, that was the last job we did.
So when you started working together, you weren't together?
No.
And then by the time you finished working together, you were together?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So what happened in between? Did you pull some sweet moves?
Small village, she didn't have any other options.
You go to singles night, it was just the two of you and some toothless guy.
Well, there was a heap of other people, but they were all about 85. Oh, no. The little village we live in Spain is just, it's, like literally average age would be about 70.
Oh, God. What's it called?
A teca.
A teca. And how do you get there?
Fly to Madrid.
Yep.
And then we usually hire a car. So it's
drive.
northeast of Madrid, about 200 kilometres.
Oh, right.
It's on the high. If anyone's ever done the drive from Madrid to Barcelona,
yep. Does that go through Zaragoza?
A1.
No.
Yeah, it goes through Zaragoza. So we're the Madrid side of Zaragoza.
Oh, cool.
We're 100 kilometres away from Zaragoza. That's our closest big town.
Right.
Well, Calatayud is actually the closest big town,
Yeah,
but that's only
yep.
like 30,000, and then
okay.
Zaragoza is a proper big one.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, we did that. We were living over there like 6-7 months of the year, coming back here doing vintage.
Sure.
And it's all just red wine. So
yep.
So we'd go there, go hard for vintage, and then a lot of the wine for America had to be ready. So we'd be harvesting in October, November.
Yep.
And then it had to be in bottle by sort of March. So
ready for the summer.
Wasn't even stressful.
Right. And then you come back here. Well, how would you do that? Do a vintage here quickly for how long? 2 months?
No, because that vintage time here was quite mellow. Like December there, everything was ticking away through Malo.
Yep.
So we obviously had people there, and a lab and stuff that could check Malos, and then we'd come here sort of we'd usually get home for Christmas.
Sure.
And stay here for about a month.
Yep.
And then go back there for about 6 weeks to do all the blends.
Yep.
And then when all the blends are ready, we'd have it all ready for bottling, and then we'd come home and hang out here for vintage. And then when vintage was done here, then we go back there. So they had a crew that would bottle and stuff. We didn't have to, as long we got it ready to the point of bottling sort of thing.
And then you both come. So after the first year, were you together? Did you come back together to WA or?
No. Sarah was still working in South Holland.
In Torbreck.
I was here. It was actually great because I'd do kind of a year's work in 6 months. So I'd come back to Margs and just hang out and drink loads of beer and surf my brains out.
Yeah, right. How's the surfing going?
It's not.
What do you blame, vineyard or kids?
I don't know.
Beer?
Beer. Laziness. Because there's no reason why I can't get up early and go. But it's kind of like, I always feel guilty. I always go like, I should be, spraying or drying or ploughing or slashing and, oh God, and then the kids. But Sarah always says, there's no reason why you can't go.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it's my New Year's resolution.
For this year or for the one the year 2020?
Coming up.
Oh, coming up. You're getting a run up. Oh, it's our resolution. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds fair enough.
It's a shame we live so far apart.
Yeah. What's the halfway point? Gracetown.
Too many sharks down there.
True. We just go to the pub.
Yeah.
Meet you at a brewery somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll watch a video.
Yeah. Just record another podcast. So Sarah now, 3 kids, you're...
2 dogs.
2 dogs. Cat. How many geese?
Sarah would have to tell you. It's close. We just had a good bunch of goslings come out, so there's about 30-ish.
30 of them.
I don't know if it's over 30 or under 30.
How many chickens?
Don't know, lost count.
How many weevils?
None.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done. So Sarah's getting back into the winery now that the sort of getting out.
I mean, we've always done
baby
everything
gel.
together.
Yep.
Like, it's always both decisions, but, you know, poor Sarah's been a bit hammered with the kids for the last few years.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, and then she also does all our paperwork and stuff, which I'm computer illiterate. So
Yeah, stay that way.
it's, yeah, she's does a good job.
Nice. So you're heading back across next year for vintage? Is that together,
Spain.
the family? Or?
Yeah, well, that's what the plan. You know,
Yep.
last year we took the whole family over, and obviously I've got family in Poland, so it's a good excuse to visit Poland.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, usually the scene is we fly to Poland, go visit my family for a week or two, then fly to Spain,
Yep.
do vintage, you know, hang out,
Yeah, cool.
do that for however long, and then go home. Yeah, it's a good experience for the kids, and especially, you know, it was hard a couple of years ago, but now our youngest is 4, so
Yeah.
it's
It's
more
Eva,
enjoyable.
isn't it? Or is it
Eva.
Because your kids call it Evie.
we call it Evie Eva. It's like,
Okay.
you know, it's the Polish version of Eve. I
Right.
guess.
Yeah,
Eva.
cool. So youngest is 4.
4, Johnny's 6, and Lily's
Nice.
8.
Jeez. Oh, I think we might have to come across next year.
Yeah, well, we need, you know, a bit of extra labour.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I thought, but no, you told me we just eat bocadillos and drink San Miguel.
As soon as we finish picking.
Right.
It is actually quite fun. Like,
Yeah.
we go because, you know, it's in the middle of the mountain, so it's like the tractor. It's a 45-minute plus tractor ride to get to the vineyard, and we pick everything into a little 2-ton trailer,
Yep.
maybe 2, you know, like one under 2 tons. So
Sure.
we'll drive the tractor to the vineyard. However many people are there, you know, if there's 10 people, it might take 3 hours.
Yep.
Depends on the crop, depends on the vines, and then you know, yeah, we then have a bocadillo and a few cervezas.
Nice.
And, you know, like Spain, so you can't put a piece of food in your mouth without drinking wine.
Yeah.
They just, I learnt the hard way. When we first got the vineyards, I said, don't worry, I've got lunch covered. And, you know, I brought a heap of food up to the mountains and then pulled it out. And, you know, and they're like, where's the wine? And it's like, oh, shit, you know, I forgot the wine. They're like, oh, we can't eat. and I thought they were joking, and everyone just stopped. Like,
and you had to go get one?
no,
Oh.
I just went, that's it. No, we'll just keep working. Didn't
Oh.
have lunch. And I said, but what am I going to do with all this food?
Oh.
You know, I just bought food for 10 people. And they were like, oh, save it for tomorrow. Can't eat.
That's
Got
classic.
no wine. So, yeah, I've never made that mistake
Yeah,
again.
I bet.
It's kind of funny because, you know, it's hot. It's, you know,
Yeah.
35 degrees. And you're
Drinking big
drinking,
Grenache.
14% alcohol Grenache.
That's great.
But it is great. We've gotten used to it.
No, it's such a culture there too. Like there's no separation. I mean, there obviously is a separation, but you know, food and wine, it's the same thing.
It is.
It's just
It is,
something that you grow,
Yeah.
that you make something out of, and you consume at the table.
Yeah.
It's just such a big. Like I noticed. I guess I never knew how big the separation is in Australia until I went and spent time in Europe. Yeah.
Well, I just remember when we first started working in Spain, and it was like, you know, you'd go to the cafe, which is the bar, for a coffee in the morning, and then
Yep.
like, you know, I'd order a sandwich or something. It's 10 in the morning, you're hungry. And then, like, you know, the boss will go like, oh, we'll have a couple of beers then. And I'm like, beers now, 10. But they just have one beer.
Yep.
And it's just because they're thirsty.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not like us yobbos will go like, I've had one, I'm going to have 20.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. What do you mean? I can only have one.
Well, now I've had one, yeah.
Well, even in Berlin, when I was there, you know, the people are running for the bus in the morning, the guys in suits, you know, or,
Yeah.
you know, walking to get their cab. And, you know, they've got the suit on. It's like 8:39 in the morning. And they've got like a beer in their hand.
Yeah.
And and it's like, oh, gee, that's a bit weird. And then, oh, hang on, that guy's doing it as well.
Yeah.
It's just, you just have it's a breakfast beer.
Well, and that was the other one at lunchtime. Some of the boys that would work for us in the winery.
Yeah.
This is when we're doing the big job. They'd like bring their packed lunch or whatever and a couple of beers.
Yeah.
You know, like you bring your juice box here or your bottle of water. There, they've got a couple of stubbies.
So you brought that culture into your winery here?
Oh, I've definitely brought that culture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of vintage. Instead of the bungs, I think one of the first times I came here, instead of having bungs in all your barrels, they just upside down beer bottles. Yeah.
Well, that works great because the bungs pop out.
Yeah.
The beers.
The beer
stay
bottles
there.
don't.
Yeah.
We're using, it's hard to find them, but the snooker balls
Oh yeah.
as well. Yeah, they sit on top and...
Well, there tends to be a few beer bottles around.
Yeah, right. And
It's easy to.
yeah, upcycling.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll talk a bit about your winemaking here, you know, what you do and how it's changed and evolved. And
Well, the main thing, like, you know, and it sounds so cliche, but our winemaking's the vineyard, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's, and especially the you know, now we've been running this vineyard for 10 years. The lease blocks we've been running for 4 years, you know, and it's like, you know, as soon as we take over a lease block, we've been straight into the biodynamics and,
yeah.
you know, and that's just it. It's just the vineyard. The winery's so hands off. Like, I mean, obviously we keep an eye on things and
Sure.
pressing and whatnot. You know, we bought a flash new press.
I saw it, mate.
Yeah.
No juice tray though.
Well, no, we got it in the end.
Yeah.
It rocked up without it. It was a bit of a, wasn't much fun for the first few press loads.
Yep.
But that's helped things. Especially, you know, we decided to, you know, because it's such a big expense, but because we're making so much Chardonnay,
Yeah.
with the old basket press, you know, our extractions were like 300-400 litres a tonne max.
Yeah.
Unless you press for 48 hours, and you know you don't really have that luxury middle of vintage.
Exactly.
So we bought the big airbag press, and that's changed things a lot, I think.
Great.
Definitely for our extractions.
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
going, you know, 600 plus litres a tonne.
Mate, you're killing it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a big high pack press. Everything's. Do you just stem?
No, well, we destem our reds, but just selectively. Like some, and it totally depends on the year. We don't really go to a recipe.
No.
We
See what?
You know, if it's a hot year and the stalks are nice and ripe, we'll chuck in a portion of whole bunches. We like that, but we definitely, when we destem, we don't use any. We don't crush.
Yeah, sure.
So you get a bit of that carbonic-y sort of.
Yeah, we're the same. We do destem sometimes, otherwise we just jump. You know, everything we jump on, but
yeah, we went pretty hard on the whole bunch thing, trialing things, but I think it works. I mean, a lot of our red's Cabernet, so you got to be careful with how, and especially where we are. You know, we're the southern end here.
It can get stalky enough without having stalks in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know, I think that having a good destemmer helps. That was the first thing we bought.
Right. Really.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was actually our last paycheck from Spain. We bought a destemmer and the high pack press.
Yeah, cool. It's a good press.
Yeah.
And so you've got big format oak.
Yeah, so that's one. That's a big thing. You know, we did the eggs, but they're just so they're not really value for money. I do like.
Well, they doubled in
them.
price since we bought them.
Yeah,
haven't they?
So it's, you know, they're 600 litres, and it's like, God. So we've jumped on with the, you know, like we've got a whole lot of puncheons for Chardonnay, and then we've just recently acquired those big Vintners, which are 2,000 litres.
Yeah, they're rippers.
They're great. Yeah.
I can just tell you this air conditioner is fucking macking now. It's so good.
So fucking good. My sweat's gone.
Oh, feeling better already. But now you've run out of beer again.
Nearly.
Yeah, I'm almost out. What? The big Vintners, 2,000 litres.
Yeah, it works well for our wines. You know, like, I think if we had a beautiful underground cellar that was 16 degrees all year round, we'd probably wouldn't have to go that size. But I think, you know, with our well-insulated shed, you know, it can get pretty warm in there in the summer, and having the large stuff, the temperature doesn't get that high.
Sure.
You know, like the wine will still be at 18 degrees, you know, most of the year.
Yep.
And, you know, with the little barrels, you'd definitely see a spike.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So just a bit more stability.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so I think so running through the range of, you know, based, because most stuff that you're doing, with a few exceptions, but is all single block, single vineyard.
So the whole thing, when we stopped making the Red Sea and the White Sea a couple of years ago,
and the Pink Sea.
The Pink Sea, we decided to do Si Vintners is all single vineyard, single varietal.
Sure.
Apart from we make a Baba Yaga, which is a bit of fun. But yeah, everything else is, and so we now do 3 Chardonnays.
Great.
So we have Halcyon Vineyard Chardonnay.
So that's your tippy top.
Yep. That's from the old vines here.
Right.
And then we have Ada, which is from Wallace Road.
Yes.
I say it's 8 kilometres. I don't know exactly.
It's that way a bit.
It takes about half an hour to drive there in the tractor.
Right.
And then the other one we call Next Door. It's just it's about 1 kilometre away.
Sure.
So that's the one we've just released. It's called Bella.
Bella, yeah, that's good. I like that. I had that.
Oh, you tried?
Well, when we were at the thing, what was it?
Right, cool. Yeah,
Wine Australia.
I'm pretty pleased with it.
Yeah, it was great.
It took a while to get there. It was like it's been in stainless for about 6 months.
Right.
We had it in barrel for 12 months, and then we put it in and just took ages to settle out. We don't like filtering anything, so we just let it naturally settle. And
Sure.
yeah, it took all of that 6 months.
Oh,
but
right.
but I think it came together well. We're pretty pleased with it. So yeah, and the whole idea is that, you know, southern end of Margaret River, like Chardonnay is kind of the, you know, shining star down here. And each vineyard that we have has majority Chardonnay, apart from here, but we're sort of working on changing that. And so it's just, and each vineyard has quite different aspects, different soil types. So just, you know, working on that whole terroir thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we could easily blend them all together. Like, you know, we make maybe 100 dozen in a good year of the Halcyon and 300 dozen each of the other ones. So we could quite easily blend them all together and make a.
But where's the
nice
fun in that?
Yeah, exactly. So
Wallace Road's going. So we're in Davis now. It's going west.
Yeah, it's going west, and it's kind of like halfway between here and town.
Here in Margs.
So town.
Yep.
Margs. Yeah. So it's actually.
What's Witchy Village?
Yeah, village.
Yeah. Cool. And then.
So that's a real gravelly site.
Yeah.
It's like really, you know, like your proper Margaret River, you know, gravels, big ironstone bundies right to the surface.
Nice.
Here is very heavy clay. Like, if you know, you could hit the clay with a shovel in like a couple of shovel loads.
Right.
So probably a foot, you know, to a metre in some sites.
Yeah.
So it's like really dense, and the acidity is very tight on this block.
Great.
And then the other one is Bella is a lot sandier, so it's got a lot more actual.
Yeah, I just went for a drive, like here. I was saying I was just taking the back roads here, and I was surprised because a lot of people have done their fire breaks now. That how much like just sand is it?
But it's so variable. Like, you know, here is heavy clay and gravel, and then you go, you know, a kilometre and it's sandy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But then like that stuff is, you dig a hole and it's probably a metre or two of this, like, you know, well drained soil, and then you hit clay.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful. It's like it's a nice soil for chard. You know, it's a bit more fruity.
Yeah.
It's like our ones can be. And the Halcyon we always tend to hold back for a couple of years, because when we first bottle it, it usually is almost undrinkable. It's so tight.
So tight.
And so it's interesting. I find them interesting. I hope everyone else does.
Yeah.
But and then we make
and gin clone as well. They're all
gin.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of Clone 5 at next door.
Cool.
But the gin's the one we mainly use.
Yeah, great.
It seems to work for here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've never played around with a lot of those Burgundian clones, but which I wouldn't mind seeing.
I did for 1 year. We had one site that had 4 different clones. Yeah, and you know they were great, but I think you need to see it year after year after year to really get an idea of what's going on.
Right.
You don't know. Yeah, you're dealing with one season. Cool. So 3 Shardies, and then you've got Cabernet.
Cabernet. So we make at the moment we've still got Cachorro and the Halcyon Cabernet, but
they're both from this site.
Both from this site. So eventually, from last year, we're going to blend them together into one wine, because Cachorro was our younger block, which is up the back there.
Yeah.
It's 30 years old.
Yeah, sure.
And there's actually, you can't say one's better than the other kind of thing. And the Cachorro site is so small that, you know, last year we made 1 barrel out of it. It's like, it's so much, let's just make one wine.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll just have 1 Cabernet for now. And then...
and that's all on skins extended for...
Yeah, we do. We vary.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I was always like with Cabernet, I was always like real traditionalist, 30 days.
Yep.
And then we sort of pulled back from it the last couple of years. But I think, you know, now seeing the wines developing for a few years, I think I like what the longer skin contact does.
Right.
So we'll go back to that, I think, this year.
Back to 30 days?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was always... I don't know if it's just like in my head. But
no, it's not. It's that extended maceration thing where all the
I find that they become softer.
They do. Yeah, they join together. They polymerise, and then most of them get so big they drop out to end up with sort of not pre-aging, but making longer chain tannins. And then you have so much of them that half of them drop out as sediment, and you end up with a much smoother tannin structure.
Smoother and much more ageability.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so they can drink now, but they can drink for longevity as well.
And, you know, so we're not making a shitload of Cabernet anymore.
Yep.
So I feel like we just got to make the best Cabernet we can.
Yeah, cool.
You know, so we'll only do...
And that'll be Halcyon now? So.
Yeah, it'll just be Halcyon. Yeah.
What does Cachorro mean?
Cachorro is like it's Spanish slang. It's like a little pup.
Oh, okay.
But it's often like if a giant dude walks into a bar and he's 7 foot tall, they'll be like, oh, he's a Cachorro.
Yeah, right.
Like, so it's a little pup that's massive.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like a bit of there's our little Spanish twang on it.
Yeah, cool.
And the whole idea was because the Cachorro block is actually on slightly heavier gravel, whereas this is more clay.
So much thought into what you do.
So it was like the bigger wine from the younger vines.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And we really like the word.
It's a great word.
We should have probably saved it for a Spanish wine.
Let's keep it, mate. Use it again.
Yeah, we'll transfer it over there.
So then you got the Sophie Rosé. Is that from...
Sophie's Pinot.
Pinot?
This is straight out the window here.
Yep.
So we've got about 1.5 hectares of Pinot on this block.
Geez, they're reaching for the sky. Look at them.
Yeah, and there's actually fruit on them this year.
Wow.
If we can keep it that way.
Yeah.
And then Chinchekle is another...
So that's the Semillon that's on...
Yeah, it's Semillon, so that's behind our house.
Yep. I know that block. I stole some cuttings from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a lot bigger, but it was so not productive that we've removed a whole lot of it.
And that goes to concrete egg?
Concrete egg, 100%.
Underfloor?
Well, it was. The first 2 years were underfloor, and we loved it. And then the next 2 years, the floor just wouldn't form. And being, hard-headed, I was like, I'm not touching it until the floor forms. And then I put it into my vinegar pile.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so then after that, we were like, okay, we've learned a lesson the hard way. Let's not, if the floor doesn't form, let's just bottle it.
Yeah,
So
okay, cool.
And to be honest, since 2012, the floor hasn't formed.
Right.
So we give it every opportunity.
Yeah.
But now, like the 2019, the floor still hasn't formed. So we'll bottle it soon.
Cool.
Because this is when shit goes wrong.
Yeah, and it's all. I just saw you bottling right now in the other room. It's all everything's hand bottled. There's that little machine.
Yeah, everything's hand bottled. So now all the small stuff we hand bottle. We can quite easily do about 1,000 bottles a day. 1,000 litres a day, which is it's manageable.
Yep.
I'd like a bigger bottling line, but that's just. That's the problem with the wine industry. Every little kit you want is
ours is so
expensive.
the one we got. We have quite a big line, which I think Vas Felix bought in 1982, second-hand off Darrenberg for as much as I can trace back.
Yeah, right.
But it's so fast.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so instead
You
of
probably
just...
do about 1,000 litres a minute.
We had it running yesterday until the pump blew a seal. Yesterday was interesting. So we were running it at a carton every 24 seconds.
Jesus.
But then when something goes wrong, so instead of slowing the machine down, what we do is we just get the mums in from town.
Yeah.
And we set up in the morning, they rock up after dropping the kids off and, bottle for 6 hours and then they go home, we clean up. But we've learned that you can't do it with 3 people. You've got to have 4 because I'm just there, running from, the capper's broken or the label's shat itself. Because if you turn around, you can see 2 cartons have gone through before you know it. And there's 2 cartons you've got to fix. Peel labels off or something.
Yeah.
It's,
we don't have that problem. If shit goes wrong, we just stop.
Yeah, nice.
I definitely that would be the next big expense here. That's for the winery. For the vineyard, I'd like some more.
It just can't.
It never ends.
Yeah. Well, it is a game of compromises when you don't come in with a fortune. You just got to.
Yeah, and you've got to wait. Oh god, okay, fine. Sell some wine, maybe I'll buy that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing some stuff in the winery now. It's like just a simple thing, okay, now we're going to paint this room. All right, well, let's just wait for a big cellar door day. Yeah. And then we'll go and get all the paint and, and then we'll paint it. And it's just, that's the way it works.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So then you got Lello.
So Lello and Baba Yaga are the same. So they're both from next door, the next door site, which is, they're both Sauvignon Blanc majority.
Sure.
Lello is actually, we top it usually with a little bit of Semillon from the Chinchekle block. Just if we have any, left over, if the egg gets full and we've got an extra 100 litres.
So that's all egg as well?
No, it was egg, but now we do it in barrel.
If the Chinchekle egg is full.
If the Chinchekle, and we've got, 100 litres left over, that old thing, so that's, it might have anything from 5 to 20% Semillon, depends on the year. And Baba Yaga is it's the same vineyard Sauvignon Blanc. We pick it on the same day, ferment it the same, and then we just throw a bit of Cabernet into the Baba Yaga.
And Baba Yaga means which?
Which in Polish.
Which you're close to which cliff?
Exactly.
Why did you make that wine?
Well, it started on a cold winter's night at Ned Brooks's house in Sydney.
I was in Sydney when this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We had a few wines at Ned's house, and Mike Denny, dared us to co-ferment the 2 grossest grape varieties grown in Margaret River.
So fucking cab.
He probably forgot about it, and then I was like, I'm going to do this because I didn't really. We've got such a small amount of Sauvignon Blanc. We didn't just, we're not going to start making a Margaret River SSB.
Yeah.
So we were mucking around with the skinsy stuff. So. And so we did just 1 barrel of the Baba Yaga, and it actually ended up being really tasty.
Nice.
And everyone that tasted it was like, get more.
Oh, we love it. We love it. We got so much of it at home.
It's so funny because it was literally 1 barrel. It wasn't even a barrel. I made it in a Pelicon tank.
Right.
But it was like, 300 litres in the bottom of a Pelicon tank.
Yeah.
And I just I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I ended up having friends here, and I just kept filling it up straight out of the tank and like bringing magnums out, and people just were going, oh my God, can we buy this? And so we bottled that, and nearly ripped out. Yeah,
that's what we
did. And then the next year we made a little bit more, and 2018 we had a good crop. We actually did 300 cases of it, which is huge for us.
Yeah.
And last year we made about 2 cases.
What?
Well, last year there was just no.
We got 2 of them.
That frost really got hold of us last year, so we made nothing in general.
Yeah, I remember ringing you going, "Did you get frosted?" Because we got frosted.
Well, I know, but I didn't think we had. It was such a shock because you rang me and I thought, oh no, I knew there was a frost, but I didn't. There was no damage. There was no visible damage. Yeah. But it was just at flowering, and all the little flowers got burnt off. So. As the season progressed, we grew about 10% of what we should have. So we did, out of 16 hectares that we farmed last year, we got under 30 tonnes.
Yeah. We lost over, it would have been over half of our Chardonnay and our Chenin. We're 4 kilometres from the ocean. Yeah. Yet the week before summer, we get a frost.
Well, so have you've been here longer than I have. Have you seen a frost? Not a spring frost ever?
I've seen, you get risky times late August, and you might get a slight one,
but August.
Yeah, but not on the last week of November.
No. So that's why I keep, I'm looking out there now going, this is great, but...
Yeah, it's unheard of.
And it's freaking... We got the air conditioner on today.
Yeah.
But then again, we had a hailstorm 5 days ago.
5 days ago, hailstorm. It's going to be 40 degrees tomorrow in Perth.
And then it's getting back to cold, is it?
Yeah.
I don't even look at the weather reports anymore. It just stresses me out too much.
I know.
But there's not much you can do about it. I mean...
Well, I don't know, because I think if you know you're going to get one, you prepare. If you go to New Zealand, they've got the big fans or the oil heaters.
But what are we going to do?
Mate, just drive around with your spray unit through the night if you have to, because it's going to be that rare. You just need to blow the stuff out of there.
Yeah.
So, Baba Yaga, none of that. Any other wines?
Last year, none.
The sauce?
So the sauce is kind of our... because we've all got leftover bits of fruit and wine and stuff that doesn't make the cut for the top end stuff. So the sauce is essentially just the leftovers. So we've only bottled 1 so far, which is the red.
Yep.
And it's not bottled as Si Vintners. It's just it's just supposed to be a bit of fun. So that was the whole idea, that the sauce stuff is our fun, cheap wine.
Sure.
And we can muck around with it and do blends from various vineyards. It's not single vineyard. It's not single varietal. And so we've done a red. We'll do a white soon.
Cool.
Maybe a pink in the future. Like if this year's a good crop and we've got some excess stuff, we'll muck around with whatever.
Yeah, great.
So I think that's it. I think we've covered all the wines there.
There we go.
Yeah.
And what's the future? I remember when I first met you showed me this beautiful model of the winery that you were going to build.
Yeah, which I'm so glad we didn't do.
Oh, it looked good. I remember seeing it going, oh my God, I've just got this little shed. Look at this. Where's this guy doing all this stuff? This is amazing.
Yeah, it would have been a big loan.
Yeah.
and it was just one of the, when we first started, we were like, very enthusiastic.
Oh yeah.
And the shed's perfectly fine.
You think you'll build it?
No, I don't think so.
No? Oh, I'd like to see it.
I would love to have an underground barrel hall.
Yeah.
That would be, but that's definitely not in the near future.
No.
Like that would be a dream.
Yeah, it would
Because
be.
I just, it's because we've seen a lot of those sorts of things in
In Europe.
and
You go to Champagne, you go to the cellars, and you get these rusty little elevators that just go down into the
I did the little train tour through Champagne.
Oh, did you? Nice.
When you sit
Underground.
in Moe Champagne,
Yeah.
you're sitting in a little
Yes.
30 kilometres of underground cellars.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I went to this little family place, and they, because a lot of those tunnels where they store the champagne to mature, and they interconnected with other places. And they used a lot of it in the war as well to escape occupation. But they said, "Oh yeah, we can show you, but look, our elevator's been condemned by the local government, so we're not allowed to use it.
Right.
But it still works if you want to get in and have a go." And it's like, all right, so we stepped in, Naomi, myself, and the person who owned the place were showing us around. And we were honestly squeezed up next to each other, and all the lights went out at 1 second, and then they came back on, and then they went down, and you could see you're not in a sealed box, you're in this cage thing.
Right.
So you sort of see how fast you're moving against the outside wall. We just kept going and going and going. You just end up right. It was crazy down there. It was magic.
It's crazy, isn't it? Where we hang out in Spain, Ateca, that the whole town has got every house has got an underground cellar.
Yeah, nice.
And apparently they are all somehow connected, but this is thousands
for
of years.
singles night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down at the pub.
But yeah, you go into these houses that
Yeah.
you don't even expect it, and they're huge. Like the house is tiny above it.
Yeah.
And this, the underground cellars are sometimes as big as our shed.
There's got a bowling alley down there.
Big arched roofs and
Wow.
stuff. It's amazing.
That's great.
Thousands of years old.
Yeah.
And the temperature, it'd be a 40-degree day outside. You go down there and it's 16.
Why don't we do it here? Because it's too easy to build now.
Well, I don't
Too
know.
young? Young
I
country?
think you could definitely do it.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. It was, I guess, too hard. I mean, it's a big expense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because we look at, how to chill the barrel hall. The more you can fit in there that's cooler, the better. We have a chiller unit but because we don't have three-phase, we've, all the biodiesel plants all up and running now. So, but, we need to run a generator to run the chiller unit.
Oh, do you know I have three-phase?
No.
I thought you did.
No, so that's
Same problem as us.
I thought you did.
No, we bought a generator last
Yeah,
year.
okay. So now we've built a little shed for our generator, which is next to the diesel hard stand. But we get all the fish and chip oil from town.
Nice.
From squid lips, and so we're converting that into biodiesel so that we can run all of the three-phase. So basically the tourists eat fish and chips, we get the old oil to power our winery, which is cool. But yeah, the other idea, so that's to run a chiller, but the chiller is only connected to the tanks. So, in order to chill my hay fever's kicking in now. So to chill the barrel hall, we also have a dam and quite a big water license into the Leederville aquifer. Mm. So it sort of goes from the aquifer, and because it's near Bustleton, it's quite full of. It comes out beautiful and clear, and it's delicious. But as the water comes out, it oxidises, and then the iron comes out and falls out, and then it smells like sulphur.
Oh,
so you've sort of got to get it oxidised first. So we run it over a reed bed. Then it hits the dam and it settles out in the dam, and then we can use that water.
Right.
The winery runs on rainwater, but just for gardens and whatnot, and the vineyard. So it goes from there to the dam. So what we're going to do is hook up into the barrel hall, run it through there, in front of a fan like a radiator.
Yeah.
Then run it to the dam to fill the dam because it comes out at 14 degrees.
Just put a few little sprinklers up in your barrel hall, and then just big industrial fans.
Yeah.
Cheap air conditioning.
Oh yeah, and then the humidity would probably stop all the loss I get from the
there you
barrels.
go. Yeah, because that's the problem.
How much is this
isn't it?
consulting that you're giving me now?
It's a trade for the champagne consulting.
Oh, right.
The sparkling.
The pet nat.
That's the one we forgot, the pet nat.
Oh yeah.
Brand.
What's that called?
Clement.
Right, nice. After old mate.
After old mate that works with us.
Cool,
Clemo. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Ours, what we did one batch this year that we sort of got the sugar slightly wrong, so I was pretty excited.
Oh, is it?
Don't know what to do. Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
I think we were so paranoid. If anything, we probably went a bit under.
Oh, right.
But it seems good.
It's
now.
good, just It's meant to be under 2 atmospheres.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah. That's nice. I was, for months, I was like opening doors, like, no, we fucked this up. And now it's like, yes.
Yeah, cool. I look at the other night.
Yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think you've got to do those things to keep yourself interested.
Well, that's right. You can't just do the same old stuff all the time. And I think you've been telling me to make a sparkling for years. I wish I'd done it earlier now.
Yeah.
But it's quite a chore. Like, you're dealing with vintage, and then it's like
We've got a bottle right now. We've got a pick, though. We've got a pick.
What are you talking about, bottling?
Yeah, well, so this year when we did the Quevry in the bush, that was an experiment for us as well. It's just like, what are we going to do this year that's, we haven't done before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. Had a good party.
Yeah, I think I'm more or less done with experimenting.
Really?
No. I don't, like...
Come on, mate.
I won't, like, we'll play around with some skin.
How about 14% Grenache Pet Nat?
No, well, that's what we're playing around in Spain now, like picking things a lot earlier. So this year was, Sarah came back a bit freaked out because we picked, all this stuff like, 2 or 3 weeks earlier than what we normally would have picked it.
Right.
But
and what sort of specs are you looking at?
Oh, like we're going for about 12 to 13% alcohol. Like a lot, like because the acids over there. It's such a tough one because we'll be picking stuff with 14 BOMO, and the pH is like 3.1, 3.2.
Yeah.
So it's
why? Because of the mountains.
Yeah, because it's so high up. Like we're at 1,000 meters.
Yeah.
So you've got, and there's no shortage of sunshine. It doesn't rain. So you've got blue skies every day.
So how do you deal with? Oh, because it rains underneath you because you're above the clouds, or no?
It just doesn't rain.
All right.
It's an
so how do you deal with the acid
Sahara.
thing?
Well, that's what we're this year. We're a bit like, let's see how this goes. We've been gradually doing it every year, a little bit less, a little bit earlier, and everything's been fine so far. But then this was like a bigger jump,
big leap of faith.
It'll
be good.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be fine. Yeah.
Now that in our vineyards, we now test for. We're testing grapes for maturities. We test for BOMO, pH. We test for titratable acidity, but also for malic.
Yeah.
Because we got some weird numbers the last few years. Like
big malics, huh?
Huge malics. And because everything goes through Malo, you're thinking you're picking something like at 11 grams of acid. Yeah. Then it drops down and you end up with like 6 or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, we that's when we first got here, we were the same. We were picking things a lot riper and then Malo finished and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. pH of 4.9.
What? Chardonnay? Wow, really? But yeah, so now we're I think, and that's a big step from, what you learn, from the Europeans, I guess. That's where it all came from.
Yeah.
And then, working here, we're working with the, different specs.
Yeah.
And like, we can definitely get alcohol right.
Oh, yeah.
But the acids, and the main thing for us is, because we don't add any acids, is getting that acid right. That's the only thing we look at. We don't care about the potential alcohol at all.
No, we're the same.
We're just paranoid about...
I made a 9% pet nat 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or 9.5.
That's good.
Yeah. No, but sorry, I interrupted. Yeah, so you want that natural acidity.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And again, looking at those malics to make sure that you don't end up with something weird.
Yeah. So, so from here, no more experimentation?
Well, there's always something, but not too crazy. And that is, like the sauce thing will be that'll be a little bit of play.
Yeah.
And we're doing, the whole thing with Sarah's brother, so that'll be Si Vintners. That'll be a bit more...
Oh, Nick, so that's on Carter's Road. It's going to be a brewery.
A brewery.
Water park? Petting zoo.
Yeah, petting zoo. Yeah, we're talking about it. We want to do a Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah, nice. You've been training?
Yeah, we've been training. Yeah,
so keto.
Keto training. Yeah. But no, mainly the whole idea is that it'll be a brewery, and it all initiated because we like drinking sour beers, and there's not many sour beers around. And the idea came around about 8 years ago.
Nice.
But it's finally coming into fruition.
That's great.
So there's a lot more sour beer around these days.
Yeah, there is.
So we'll do sour beer and lager because that's kind of what we drink.
Yeah, cool.
And then we'll just do a bunch of wines, it'll be just whatever blends we want to do.
Yep.
And, and a bit of a restaurant. Nick's right into his cooking. So
cool. So there's that, and then sell it all here?
Well, yeah, it's more difficult than I thought.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Council
you
and
warned
health.
me.
I know. You just got to keep plugging away, though.
Yeah, I went to the council the other day, and can I borrow Paul?
Yeah.
I need a beer.
Yeah, cool. I'll get one too. We'll probably wrap it up soon. So we've got...
Finally made it happen.
I know.
You've been nagging me for what, like 3 months? 4 months?
Well, I bought all the gear about 4 years ago, and I've only managed 5 episodes so far. Right. I think Noam's just got sick of things showing up from eBay or Amazon going, what's this? What have you bought now? It's all right, it's for the podcast. And 3 years later, it's like, when are you going to start this podcast? You sell all this gear? It's like, all right, I'll do something. So, yeah, it's funny. But we'll got Gourmet Escape next week, and then the couple of weeks after, we've got the gig at our place. Yeah, we're catching up a bit, mate. Yeah, and a New Year's resolution as well. We'll be surfing. What is our resolution? You've decided for us? Or?
Well, I like I like Noam's idea, but I don't know if we can do 100.
100 surfs.
100 surfs in a year.
There's minimums as well. You got to catch 3 waves, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
What was the thing?
Rules don't apply.
No.
Ours is just getting in a car
Does
with a
surfing the
surfboard
internet count?
and going to the beach.
The board has to be unstrapped from the roof or taken out of the vehicle.
That's it.
And wetsuit has to be put
That's
on.
right. Yeah. That's
We have to touch the wetsuit.
touch the wetsuit.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. So people can buy your booze through you?
Website? Through us on a website, sivintners.com.
SiVintners.com. I'll put all this in the show notes. Instagram is at Si Vintners.
At Si Vintners. We don't do Facebook.
Oh, we do now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jeez, fancy.
Yeah, I know. We're right up there with all the latest internet stuff.
Yeah.
Facebook,
we're lucky. And and a whole bunch of places sell our wine,
Nice.
which I won't start mentioning people because then I'll definitely forget someone.
Yeah, and then I'll get pissed at you. So basically, available to... Oh, no, I won't say that because I'll get busted as well. All right. So thanks, mate. I think we should probably sign off and finish this beer.
All right. Cheers, Benny.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Evo. That was episode 6. I can't believe we've got to 6 so far. It's taken a little longer than I thought. As always, if you get a chance, please rate and review the podcast because that always helps. Have a great week. Bye.